Hey Google, turn off. Hey Google, turn off. Hi, good evening. How are we all tonight? Hope it's good. Right, hi Kelsey Love, Dom, Sharon, Paul, me. There you go. Hope everybody's good. As you can see, the breaking news. Breaking news, everybody will know, I presume. Anyway, the breaking news is Levi's been moved from Heaven on Hell, or Hell on Earth, or whatever it was called, down near Nottingham, up to near Doncaster. So now he's in Lindholm now, on his countdown. And days are getting fewer and fewer and fewer. So anybody who didn't know he'd moved and you email him, just remember when you email, you have to change the prison to Lindholm. Now, the good thing is he normally answers quite quick because he has the ability to, I think he's got the ability. I think he has access to a laptop in his pad, his new pad. So it doesn't take like days and days and days for him to get his emails. I emailed him on Friday, I think, at 3 o'clock, and I had a reply at 4 o'clock. So that's not bad, is it? It's not bad considering I emailed him a year ago and he never answered. So there you go. That's how good it is. So just remember, if you do email, you need to change the prison to Lindholm. Now he's only been in a few days, Paul, so it'll take a little while for him to settle in, I suppose. I think he's in what they call, well, they might not call it, but I think it's called a holding cell. You know, where they first go in before they get moved to the proper place. So that's how he's doing at the moment. And so if anybody's watching and they don't actually email him, there's an app called e-mates, which is a prison email app. Costs you to send, and it costs you to get a reply. But you just go to, well, Kelsey, I'll probably put the link in the stream for anybody. If there's anybody watching and they haven't gone, if they haven't emailed him before, he's open to people emailing him. He'll be quite happy, and as I say, he should be. I'm not going to promise and say that he'll email straight away, but he'll email a lot better than he did before. So that's his news, and he's got 103 days to do. Oh, there you go. Sharon knows. He's been moved to the wing. and he's got a proper mattress and a good cellmate. I hope it's not like the last one. Well, there you go. So yeah, so that's how you go. If you want to, the things up there telling you on the top, going across the top there, from there to there, telling you how to email, and there'll be a link, I presume, popping in before I go, telling you how you can, telling you how to. I don't know what I was saying. I turned my head to look at the other screen. I'll send him an email. He'll look forward to it, Paul. And yeah, as I say, it's called eMates. I think I'm just going to search myself just to make sure I've got it right. Email a prisoner. So there you go. That's a link to the email thing. And as I say, it's not free. You have to pay to send an email. I've forgotten how much it is now, but it isn't a lot of money. It's less than a Mars bar. I don't know how much Mars bars are, but I presume it's bloody cheap because it's crap. Yeah, so there you go. And if you want to reply, you need to pay for the reply. Okay? If you just want to send an email, that's good. If you want to reply, you have to, tick the box and say you want to reply, and then he'll reply, because he doesn't have the means to email anybody. He can only reply to emails. So there you go. That's how to keep up to date. If you want to know anything, you can send him in an email. So there we go. I don't know what else to say. Well, as you can see, Sharon said he's been moved into the wing now. He's not still in his... Yeah, but that's because you added a photo, Sharon. If you didn't add a photo, it's not that expensive. It's when you can add up to 4 photographs, I think. And of course, if it's got photo attachments, it's going to cost more. So there you go. So Sharon, what was the photograph you sent? Put it up. Let us all have a look. I don't know if you can put it up, actually. Good heavens above. Yeah. So where are we now? I tried to put a little clock up there, but I couldn't get it. I could put a clock up, but it wouldn't click, if you know what I mean. I couldn't get it to move. So I just put the calendar up, and it'll move as the days go along. Every time I come on, it'll be a different. We'll be down to double figures next week. Yeah, £1 is cheap, but like I say, it's even cheaper. It's about 80 pence, I think, with no photographs. I did toy with the idea of sending him a photograph, but he knows what I look like, so there's no point in sending a photograph, is there? All right, there you go then. He'll have enjoyed that one. Yeah, next time I email him, I'm going to ask if he can print off at all, if you know what I mean. But there you go. So that's the breaking news for today. It's good news. Good news week. Yes, Sharon. Is it raining where you are? It's cracking here. It's lovely. If I could turn the camera around, I'd show you. The sun's belting down. Apparently tonight, if you live in North way, if there's anybody watching who's living north, you might be able to see the Northern Lights tonight. Apparently, according to the weatherman this morning, or whether he was just making it up and playing for time, I don't know. But yeah. One good thing, I don't have to paint fences anymore. It's all done for me. Got the gardeners come and window cleaner comes and the house, I don't know what you call them really. The house people come and hoover and clean the hallways and landings. I suppose if I asked them nicely, they might come in and hoover for me as well. Nothing like being cheeky, is there? Nah, I'd have to pay them, wouldn't I? I might as well just do it myself. But now I've got bloody hiccups now. I've drunk that cold coffee. Oh, God. So, folks, anything happening with anybody besides giving me the news that it's raining? But I'm just getting rid of me ear things because I don't need them because nobody talks. Yeah, that's right. If you don't ask, you don't get. I know, but I'd be a little bit embarrassed if he said it's a tenner. There you go. I really don't need anybody to hoover up. I've got a hoover. It's a 10-minute job. So it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I haven't quite finished, but I've nearly got my flat how I want it. I've just got a few other things to do. Hey, no, there's no such thing as getting biscuit tin out. I'm telling you now, there's none of that. I always offer them a cup of tea. Every Wednesday morning, I offer them a cup of tea. They always say no. That's good, really. Crap at making tea. Coffee's good, but I can't make tea. But yeah. No, you're not going to get a tour of my flat. Tell you now. So there. That answered the question quick, didn't it? I was ready for that question. So the answer's no. I'm not going to give a tour of outside and I'm not going to give a tour of inside because you don't know who's watching. And there's lots of dickheads out there, isn't there? So there you go. But saying that, if you're in the area, just give me a ring. If I know who you are, I'll, come and have a brew. I don't mind. I'm here. I'm in every day. Well, nearly every day. I'm back at the bloody hospital tomorrow. 9 a.m. again. But camera down my throat tomorrow. Last week it was the other end. This week it's down my throat. I don't know why they don't do it both at the same time. They can meet in the middle. That'd be a sight to see, I suppose. Yeah. So I had to go to the community hospital last week in Beverley. Don't know if anybody knows the area at all. You know, I live in Hull, and Beverley's up the way there. And I've never been to Beverley without a car, if that makes sense. You know, I've been into Beverley lots of times, but I've always had a car. And anyway, I caught the train. I can't remember what day it was I went now, Thursday, I think. Anyway, whatever day it was, I caught the train, which was easy peasy lemon squeezy. It was great. And 15 minutes on the train and drops me off Beverley. So as I walked out of Beverley's thing to the little office, little old lady sat in the office, and and I says to her, excuse me, sweetheart, do you think you could tell me how to get a bus to the community hospital? And she said, yeah, of course I can. You just go up the road, turn right, and it's down on your left is the bus station. I said, oh, thank you. Anyway, up her pops. Bloody, what a walk that was. I thought I was never going to get there. Anyway, I gets to the bus station. Never used a bus in Beverley in my life. Walked into the bus station. There's no timetables anywhere. There's one, I don't know what you call them now, you know, one of these like television board things. And it just says, bus number blah, blah, due in 2 minutes. Bus number blah, blah, due in 10 minutes. No where they're going or anything like that. So I thought, right, I'll just go to the ticket office or the inquiries, and walked up to the inquiries, and the big sign on it says, the inquiries are no longer available here. So I thought, shit. So the obvious thing to do is, when you're stuck, ask a policeman. But they want a policeman about, so I made do with the bloody bus driver. I thought the bus drivers are going to know, aren't they? So this guy gets off his bus to go for a coffee or whatever, and I said, excuse me, do you think you could tell me how to get to the to the hospital from this bus station, please? And he said, yeah, you go down the bottom there to that big bus, 252, and that takes you. I said, oh, thank you. He goes down, give him £3. Stupidly never said, I'm going to the community hospital. Can you tell me where it is? I just got on, paid me £3, got on. 20 minutes, 25 minutes later, I'm still on the pigging bus. And I thought, well, we're on the road to Hull here. So I walked up and says to the driver, how long is it before we pass the community hospital? He says, we don't go past the community hospital. We go past Castle Hill. Oh, fucking hell. What a bloody nightmare. So I says, can you stop at the next stop? I'll have to get up and go back. So he stopped at the next stop. I gets off, walks across the road. I had to stand and wait for 20 minutes for a bus. Got back into Beverley, into the station. So that cost me £3 to get out, £3 to get back. And still didn't know which bus I needed to get. So I thought, well, I ain't asking a fucking driver anymore. So I had a look round, and there was this little old lady sat in the corner. And I thought, well, she looks as though she uses the hospital a lot. I'll go and ask her. So I went up and said, "Excuse me, sweetheart, do you know what bus I need to get to the hospital?" So she says, "Yeah, the Castle Hill bus is just going out." "No, I don't want Castle Hill. I want the community hospital." "Oh, right, yeah, well, you want the number 43. It's due in 10 minutes. So I said, "Okay, thank you." So then I thought, right, I'm like 30 minutes late for my appointment. So I rang to tell him. No answer. So I stood and waited for this bus, and while I'm waiting for the bus, I kept ringing. Oh, no answer, no answer. I tried 4 times, still no answer. So I waited for the bus. Gets onto the bus, and I said, "Do you go past the community hospital here on this bus?" He says, "We go into it." I said, "Oh, that's good, because I'm going in as well." So he said, "Yeah, it's £3. So I'll give him me £3. Sits down, up it pops, and less than 5 minutes later, we're passing the pissing railway station. And I thought, well, that old cow in there told me to go to the bus station. Surely she knows a bus passes. Anyway, off I pop, get to the hospital, go in and apologise. And I said, "I'm really sorry, but some dickhead put me on the wrong bus and I was on my way to Castle Hill." She said, "It's all right, I'll book you in." So she booked me in and she said, "Just wait over there." So I walked over, there were a dozen or so chairs. I walked over, I hadn't got my bum on the chair when somebody shouted, "Paul Smith." Said, "Oh, yeah." So she said, "Just wait, please." So off I pops, and she said, "If you go down the corridor there to waiting room C and just wait there, somebody will call you." So I said, "Yeah, okay, thank you." Off I walks. Gets to waiting room C, packed. It was absolutely packed. And I thought, oh shit, I'm going to be here hours. So there were, I think there were 2 seats left. I thought, I'll go and get that one in the corner out of the way. So just got to the seat, about to turn round to sit down, and a little old lady shouts, "Paul Smith." Oh, wow. Straight in. I'm off. And walked into the consultant's room. So it worked out okay. Anyway, 15 minutes consultation and whatever. Come out, walked out to the bus stop, and this other bloke was stood at the bus stop who had seen get off the bus when I got off. So I said to him, "It's a bit of a bugger coming here all the way from Hull, isn't it, for a 15-minute appointment?" He said, "Yeah, mine was 5 minutes." I think he was a bit upset. So I says, "Do you know when the bus comes then to get us back to Beverley Station?" So he says, "Yeah, 45 minutes. Oh, God. Anyway, I stood at the bus stop and there's buses passing on the other road. So I said, "Look at all them buses passing, aren't they going?" He said, "There's no fucking stops. There ain't one stop between here and the turn off for the station, so you can't stop the bus." "Oh, right, okay." So we stood there, chatting away, and I says, "Oh, it was all right until I got to Beverley. It's been a decent little, jolly out, really." I said, "Until I got to Beverley, of course." I said, I caught the train this morning and got my return ticket, so it'd be easy peasy." And I said, "And it was £9." I said, "Which is good, isn't it?" He said, "I don't pay for railway." "Oh, don't pay. Right. How do you do that then? How do you get free rail travel?" I've sent for me, but I've been in and got my bus pass, but I thought, if he's getting free rail, I want to know how. So he says, "Oh, back in the day, I used to work for British Rail when it was before privatisation. So I said, oh, yeah. So I said, yeah. And I still get free rail travel. Fucking hell. No wonder the country's going to rack and fucking ruin. We're giving people free rail journeys because they work for somebody for a few years. What's that all about? Bit like my first father-in-law. He was a miner, and he used to get a ton of coal a month delivered to his house. And I can't remember the year, but the pit closed, but he still got his ton of coal. What is that? What's happening? I presume there's buckets of them out there still getting. Yeah, I've gone right off, Sharon. Sorry, I read your thing. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, you know. Anyway, it's the same with the coal. I presume there's people still out there getting a ton of pissing coal a month, or whatever. I was in the wrong job, I think. I was in in pubs. You'd have thought at least I'd have got a gallon of beer a week for the rest of my life. I sold enough. I might just send off a note to Sam Smiths and say, I worked for you for 15 years. What about my pension? I'll have it in ale. But there you go. Anyway, so gets back to the railway station. So I got the bus, said to the driver, can you drop me at the railway station? And can you tell me when we get there? And so he says, yeah. Anyway, we got to the railway station. He stopped and he said, railway station, mate. Thank you. And he gets off, goes into the railway station and says to the woman in the thing, I didn't say anything about her not sending me right. When's the next next train to Hull? She looks up at the clock and she says, now. Oh, right, okay. Walks through the door and there's the train there on the other track. So you have to go over the stairs to get to it. So, you know, my running days have gone. If I try to run, my knees give way and I fall over. So there's no chance of me running. So I'm walking as fast as I can. I got up the steps, across, and just coming down the steps and the pissing train pulled out in it. Oh, God, it's my luck. So I had to sit on the seat on the platform and wait for the next one. But it wasn't a long way. I think it was only about 20 minutes. So it wasn't too bad. Got back into Hull, did a bit of shopping and whatever. I thought I'll go and catch a bus home because the bus stops at the end of the road here. So went and said to the woman in the at the interchange in Hull, what time is the bus number 21? I want 21. She said, oh, you have no chance. Then why is that then? She said, the last one went 25 minutes ago. Last bus? 2:30 in the afternoon. What are you talking about? Last bus? She said, yeah, they only do 4 out and 4 in. Right. So much for integrated travel. So I had to go and get a bloody cab. Anyway, I got home. So that day was hectic, really. Actually, it wasn't that hectic because whilst I was in Hull, I'd been to the library because I wanted to see if they had a newspaper archive, you know, for Hull, because I presumed the they would have an archive. And this person in the library said, no, we don't have the archive. However, the history centre up the road does. So that way I'll have a walk up there and just see. So anyway, I went in and said, do you have the newspaper archive for this area? So she said, well, we have the whole Daily Mail and a few other local papers, but we don't have the East Riding papers. So I said, oh, okay then. Why don't you have the East Riding papers? She said, well, they're held in the archive place at Beverley. I said, oh shit, there's no chance of me going there then, because I ain't going to Beverley again. So I said, can I have a look at the papers? So she said, yeah. Oh, shut your face, Bobby. What are you on about? You should have tuned in half an hour ago. What you been doing? Sat in the sun picking your nose, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, so I went to the library, history centre in Hull, and I said, can I look at the newspaper for 1943 then? She said, yeah. And she brought it out on a roll of film and put it in this machine and said, this is how you use the machine and whatever. What a fantastic piece of kit. I've never used one of those, whatever you call them. I don't know what you call them. Microfilms. Never used one. Anyway, she showed me how to use it. It's quite good. I couldn't find what I was looking for, but I only spent an hour looking. And then I went out to her and said, you know, if I find something on these micro things, viewer things, can you print it off? She said, yeah, there's a printer. Is it in colour? Yeah, but I very much doubt you'll be getting coloured pictures. Oh, I never thought of that. So there you go. So I learned something about where I need to go. Evening, Jeff. Evening, Bobby. So anyway, as you can see, if you've only just come in, the breaking news is Levi's been moved from Nottingham to Doncaster. He's now in Loudham Grange at Doncaster, and he's got access to a laptop which gives him access to his email. So if you want to email him at all, or if you have emailed him before and you want to email him, you've got to remember you have to change the prison to Loudham Grange if you've emailed before. If you haven't, his prison number is up there somewhere. Why did they all point that way? That way. There. Can't point to it now. It'll come in a minute. Up there is his prison number. There it is, A7816FC. And you'll need that to email him. Evening, Carlos. And he does answer his emails, because now it doesn't take like 3 or 4 weeks for him to receive them. So I sent him an email, I think it was on Friday at 3 o'clock, and I got an answer by 4 o'clock. So there you go. So he's moved from, I've forgotten that prison he was at, but anyway, it was in Nottingham. And he's now in Doncaster at Loudham Grange. And like I say, I put a link in the chat. If you do want to email and you haven't emailed before, I put a link in the chat and it'll link you to the system where you can send emails. However, it's not free to send an email. You have to pay. And I think it's something like 49 pence to send, but you also have to pay for a reply. And I think that's something like 35 pence for the reply. So it's less than £1. And apparently, I've been told if you attach a photograph, it it costs £1 altogether to send the mail, attach a photograph and get a reply. So there you go. That's how you do it if you want to get in touch. And if you've never spoken to him before, if you want to get him to know you or whatever before he comes out, so he's got an idea of who you are. I presume all the people in here, he probably knows. So I'm talking to the converted, if that's the right word. So that's how he goes. He's got 103 days to do. Kelsey's on straight in, look, 40 pence for the email and 28 pence for a reply. Well, I got the 28 pence right, didn't I? I thought it was 48 pence, but there you go. So it's 68 pence to send an email, okay? And the link is in the chat. So if you've never emailed before to him and you want, that's how you do it. And I'm not promising you get the reply quick, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that he will reply fairly fast. So there you go. That's the breaking news for tonight. There might be more as we go through the week. Evening, Clary. Do you need me to update you on what's happening, or have you been listening? Or do you know what's happened? I presume, Clary, you'll know, but if you don't know any, I'll tell you. He's moved now to Loudham Grange, just outside Donny, and he's got access to his emails on a laptop. So if you want to email him, you can. And if you've emailed him before, you need to remember to change the prison to Loudham Grange. Okay? And if you haven't emailed before, his prison number is strolling across the top. You need that prisoner number, and that identifies who he is. And you can email him, and it's 68 pence for an email, and that gets a reply as well. If you only want to send an email, it's only 40 pence. You won't get a reply. And the other thing about email is he can't send. He can't, oh, there you go, Clary. He can't send emails. He has to reply to emails. Okay? So I'll just keep repeating myself because I know Bob is in the chat, and he can be a bit slow at times. I know. So I'll say it again before we go, because I don't want him to come in tomorrow night and say, "Oh, Grandad, have we got any update on Levi?" But there you go. If he manages to get in tomorrow night, that is, again, I'm not making any promises. I'll be here, and hopefully Bobby will be. But things can change. Well, I'm saying I'll be here, unless they bloody choke me in the hospital with a camera down my throat, and I won't then, will I? Yeah. An email is that thing that they do nowadays rather than a pen and paper, sending in a letter. There you go. So, how are we doing? Oh, got another fair bit to do yet. That's what I've put, Anta, Lindholm. Have I spelt it? No, it's Loudham, isn't it? Have I spelt it wrong? Hold on. Let me have a look. If I've got it wrong, I do apologise. Oh, it is Lindholm. I do apologise. That's wrong. Okay. Where's that come from? Anyway, let me just change it. Loudham Grange. Where the hell did that come from? Is that the one he was at? Nah, I'm really sorry, you know, but I am a bit thick. So anyway, there you go. I better go through it again, haven't I? So if you want to email and you haven't emailed before, the address is up here, look, at the top, Lindholm, and his prisoner number is 87816FC. And he's moved. Well, you know he's moved because I've said it, but that's the prison. The prison is Lindholm, not what I said before, okay? Okay. Yeah, I do apologise. Everybody, please accept my sincere apologies. As I say, you know, I do make mistakes very rarely, but when I do, they're fucking whoppers. Anyway, he's now at Lindholm. So there you go. I know I should have checked that. I don't know where I got that. Was Loudham Grange where he was? I presume it must be. There you go. Anyway. So we're actually into double figures watching. So I'm impressed. Anyway, if anybody... he is progressing, Jeff. A bit earlier on in the chat, if I can find it. I'll tell you in a minute. There we go. So he's now in the, been moved onto the wing, and he's got a proper mattress and a good cellmate. We just hope he's not that like that foreign one he used to have. So there you go. Yeah, like I say, I do apologise for making the error. It took a long time before somebody bloody pulled me up on it. Yeah, good evening, baby. Thank you for that. That's very good of you. I presume you heard all the stuff about the email and how you email and whatever, if you want to. The information is on the is in the chat. I'll also put it in the comments afterwards, so that if you forget or whatever, all the details will be in the comments below this video. Okay, so there you go. I'll comment below, like I ask people to do. Comment below, but nobody ever does. Well, one or two do very occasionally, but yeah. So while we're on about commenting, you know, please leave a like if you like it. If you don't, leave one of those. I really don't mind, but it all helps on the whatever that rhythmy thing is on the tube algorithm. That's it. It all helps with the algorithm. Be seen. Yeah, be seen. So anyway, what we got? Let's have a look at the. Oh yeah, I wonder what kind of games they're playing. I hope it's not bloody past the parcel. It's going to be a bit of a bugger if I hear somebody shout, "It's your turn in the barrel tomorrow." Anyway, going back to my army days now, all these silly things are coming out into my head. Sundays is games day. What kind of a prize could you win in Nick? I think he's done bingo calling before, Sharon. I'm fairly certain he has. I know he used to work at. I could be wrong, but I think he used to work at the amusements. I could be thinking of. I could be thinking of something else, quite honestly. Goodie bags, sweets, lovely. That'll cheer him up, won't it? Loses all this weight and whatever, and they fill him with bloody sweets. Well, borrow a big screen. Oh, get in. How big's his pissing cell? He gets a 10-inch telly instead of a 6. Anyway, yeah, that's it. He did Donkey Derby. He did. Following in his granddad's footsteps, I did the Donkey Derby back in the day, in the 60s. And I did prize bingo as well in the 60s. We had bingo on Christmas Day in HMP Stockton. Happy days. So, Jeff, was that supposed to put a blue smiling face? Oh, it has. It has on well, it has on, what do you call it? It has on the chat in YouTube, but it hasn't on my chat in my thing. So, Jeff, I do apologise. I can see it now. You learn something every day, don't you? I didn't know that. I thought you just had to pick. Anyway, don't make sense. I'm going off on a tangent. I don't often go off on tangents, but I'm going up on one at the moment. So as you can see, up in the corner over there, up there, round there, up below his head is the calendar. 103 days to do. And then we'll be saying free at last. Yeah. So next week it'll be double figures. It'll be going past even quicker. I'm saying it's 1st of June today, isn't it? 6 months have gone already. Six months, bloody hell. Doesn't time go quick, or is it just me where time goes quick? I presume when you get older, it seems to go quick. I think that's the answer, isn't it? When you're young, time doesn't fly like it does when you're old. I don't think. I don't know. Well, there you go. Yeah, Sharon, it will be Christmas before we know it. And I won't know what to do with myself. So many things I could do and so many places I could go. Yeah, right. Talking bollocks, Paul. Okay. I'll stop talking bollocks and I'll talk somewhat seriously. So anyway, before we get to the end, because there's a few watching, and I presume a few are watching and are not in the chat, because there's more watching than there is in the chat, I'll just update you. So, as of this last week, middle of last week, Levi's moved from Nottingham Prison to Doncaster Prison. And And he has access to a laptop, which means he can collect his emails, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, which also means he can answer his emails, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, if you've emailed him before, all you need to do, if you haven't done it already, is when you go to your email, is to make sure that it's going to Lindholm. The prisoner number is the same, but the prison is Lindholm. And then it'll go to him. If you haven't emailed before, you can go to emailtheprisoner.com and set up an account, and you can email him. And I've forgotten how much. I think I'll find it in a second. Kelsey told me how much it was, and I've forgotten. You see, she only told me 20 minutes ago. So anyway, it's about 70 pence all told to send an email and ask for a reply. If you only want to send an email, it's cheaper. But if you want a reply, you have to pay for the reply. And I think it's about 70 pence overall. If you want to put a photograph on, it'll bounce it up to £1. So there you go. If you've emailed before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't emailed before, he'll enjoy getting emails, because it's one of those things that I know can give you a bit of an uplift. I can remember when I was in the forces. The best part of the week was the mail drops, when you used to get your mail. Because we didn't have email and all that kind of shit, and we didn't have mobile phones and all that kind of stuff. So the only way you could talk to your loved ones, which was my mother at the time, was write a letter and then wait for the reply. Unless, of course, you were in the country, then you could phone if your mum had a phone. So anyway, there you go. Modern day technology, email. And like I say, it does answer fairly quick. I sent an email on Friday and it's 3 o'clock, and I had the reply by 4. Bit better than the last time. The last time I sent him an email was round about this time last year, and I never got a reply, so I didn't email again. Jeff, his number's up on the top there, mate. A7816FC. Now, if you miss it, if you haven't seen it, you haven't written it down or whatever, I will, at the end of my time, I shall add the comment I shall add a comment to the video, what's up. So, if you need to come back, it'll be there. How you do emails. Well, not how you do them, what you need to do an email, and his prisoner number and the prison. So there you go. It'll all be in comments down there. Okay? So if you're watching this on Dave or whatever, and it's not live, look down there. It'll tell you, because I'll leave the comment for you. So anyway, we're coming up to 8 o'clock, and I can honestly say it's basically flown by. I've sworn once or twice, but that's just Paul, isn't it? I'm known for it far and wide. But one good thing, I haven't ranted about any politics. So, just goes to show you, doesn't it? Paul's not ranting about politics. But that doesn't mean I won't later, because there's a lot of ranting to do. And saying that, Jeff, it is beer time, beer o'clock, time to go. And got 5 minutes or so, but, you know, I do appreciate people coming along and listening for an hour. If you do come on and listen for an hour or listen for 10 minutes, it really don't make any difference, because I just say the same things over and over again. Repeat myself. I'm like a radish. Makes you repeat. So anyway, so he's doing all right. He's quite happy. He's in a decent cell with a decent cellmate. He's got access to a laptop, so he can use the email system. And wham bam, thank you, ma'am. He'll be on the case. And next couple of weeks, his YouTube channel will start to update with bits of information, and, you know, might be a couple of little videos going up. Not from him, just in case that fat tart's watching. He's not doing it. I'm doing it. Okay? That's just for the information for that fat tart, because I know she does watch occasionally, trying to be fucking nosy. Oh, I nearly had a rant then, didn't I? Anyway, people, I want to say thank you, and thanks for coming. I can't mention you all because I can't remember everybody. I can remember Sharon, Kelsey, Paul, Bobby, Dom, Clary, Bibby. I know it's a silly thing, but if you haven't been to Bibby's channel, get your backside over there. It's good crack. So anyway, thank you, folks. So it's live long and prosper. Take care. TTFN, and hopefully see you tomorrow night. Bye.